So this is the third section in our newsletter, Resourcing Ourselves, at this Sawain 2025 newsletter as we do enter the darker half of the year. What type of rest do you most need? And we've been talking about rest a lot. We've got it as a leadership strategy, a great article there on the website. And I think that rest is really overlooked. It's a much more subtle energetic understanding of what my body needs for rest. So let's explore this here. So yes, I do have a cold, or at least I've got one trying to get hold. Uh, excuse me sorry about that. But yeah, it's not great, and I have been really trying to look after myself and rest in the right way. The connection to earth and grounding, it has become very, very important for me to restore my energy. Harder at this time of year, but it is possible and it's really important. Now, I'm fully aware that so many of the leaders that I deal with in the corporate world, that we work together on restoring our energy because the job has drained it. And I think rest can be a complicated message. It's a push. It's a finish strong message. Just keep going. And as I think my cold will testify, I have those messages strongly. Next deadline. Here we go. But as human beings, we're really part of the earth. And I'm continually asking myself the question, is the corporate world here to serve human beings, or are human beings here to serve the corporate world? It's a question that I asked first in 1996 when we incorporated into Go Brave as a social enterprise and really started talking about the idea that business was here to serve humanity and not the other way around. So, something worth considering in your own life, because we are part of the natural world. We are not separate from nature. We are nature. We're cyclical beings, and sustaining leadership in a healthy way is cyclical, not linear. The cold. I do apologize, sending me a little crazy. So, when are we trying to bend ourselves to a world that we have created, an artificial world that we've created, and we try and fit us to them? Or are we healthier and more fulfilled when we acknowledge we're part of the natural world? Well, at the Celtic New Year, we're crossing the threshold of the dark half of the year. So we've been in the light, we're entering the dark. There's a whole blog on honouring endings in order to genuinely get those new beginnings coming from a very restored, reflected and nourished place. I recommend that. And now we're looking at restoration. Rest is not a sign of weakness. It's a necessary and intelligent part of growth. The trees do not resist the fall of their leaves. We need to release and let go. So let's redefine rest. Rest has become a misunderstood concept in modern culture, often equated with some sort of, I don't know, weakness, some sort of like, oh, I'm giving up somehow. But Dr. Saundra Dalton-Smith's model of 7 types of rest is a powerful framework for making sure that it's not just sleep. We all know that we can go to bed early and not feel rested. And that can be a lot of different reasons for that. Sometimes it's just because your body has got a depletion of rest. So when you get the sleep, you can wake up feeling like you've been run over by a bus. So it's not as simple as that. And she defines 7 types of rest: physical rest. And physical rest is about listening to the body's quieter signals. So perhaps it's gentle stretching to allow the different parts of the body to come into rest before you sleep. Going to bed earlier is a constant challenge for me, but I am committed this year to trying again to improving that. If you can be asleep before 10 o'clock, The research shows that that is the best moment for your body to get its highest levels of repair in. Of course, we know that to do that, we must be blue light savvy, and I do now wear blue light reflecting glasses. And in the evenings, I will wear an even stronger pair, an orange pair of glasses to support my body with the blue light. Emotional rest. So that really means acknowledging emotions to make sure that we're tuning to them, that we pay attention to them, that we're not just lugging along with us an ever increasing sack of all the emotions that we haven't had. Naming your emotions without judgment, journaling so that we can get used to what our emotional state is, very, very useful. And then making sure that we move those emotions through our body. Emotion, energy in motion. Emotions really need to move. And they can be fabulous energy. I've often talked about the importance of anger. If I'm to do some really good cleaning, if I can find things that I'm angry about, I can often clean way faster and much better. It's a powerful energy. And if I do feel angry about something, I will often go to cleaning. So don't be afraid to feel your emotions. Just make sure that you are appropriately and consciously choosing the when and where, and then they won't overwhelm you. There's also social rest. So not all company restores us. Some social rest isn't rest at all. It's social outlay. And even if you are an extrovert and take energy from social situations, in fact, the research is now showing that way, way more of us are ambivert than we thought we were. So you may show up on the Myers-Briggs scale as really extrovert or really introvert, but you'll find there are still some situations that really drain you or some that feed you in social settings. So just become aware of it. You know, it's the festive time shortly. The invites are starting to flood in. Take a step back. Choose what you want to do. Choose where to spend that all-important social energy. Oh, number 5, sensory rest. Really important. Screens, input, all those devices. You know, when do we really get a moment in the dark? So we're going into the darker part of the year. We're going into Samhain. Really allow yourself the luxury of taking out those senses. So, so important. Can you get rid of the overhead lights for a bit? Can you sit in firelight and candlelight? Do you notice a difference? Can you go for a walk without a podcast, without your headphones, without a phone call? See what happens when you do. And then creative rest, one of my favorites. So what time do you give yourself for your creativity? Not to produce something fabulous. You're not trying to get into the Tate. This is about the doing, not the evaluation at the end. If drawing's too daunting, what about just colouring in? Or use scissors, cut things up, make a collage. You'll know possibly if you listen to my blogs regularly, I'm a great crochet fan. I'm terrible at it. It's not the point. I enjoy it. I really enjoy it. And yeah, I'm getting my crochet out again to make some decorations for the festive season and spiritual rest. Ah, that big picture. You know, we are physical, emotional, mental, and big picture beings. Whatever that big picture is for you, coming into our purpose. Oh, connecting and resourcing to that greater why. Hugely important. And that's not driving us to those things we ought to be doing, we should be doing. There's so many ways you can just connect. Music is a great one for me. We're singing Fauré's Requiem with our choir shortly. on the 15th of November at Southwellminster, if you're around. And wow, just to connect with music written from a place of spiritual connection is just so powerful. So what music works for you to bring you back and rest that part of you that knows its why? What sustains me? What is guiding me? So powerful. And then we will feel better resourced. We will feel like we're not just rested, we're resourced. And that is such a great feeling. Even with my cold, I am feeling more resourced. And the quieter we can become, the more we can hear. The darker season is not just something that is to be ignored as an irritation. Let's put all the lights on. It's getting dark. You know, notice that feeling. Notice the feeling of the loss of the light. What does it bring up for you? It's powerful, you know? Oh, a client said to me this week that they felt, I'm paraphrasing, but there was like a betrayal of the earth had betrayed her by taking away the light. You know, it was being mean in some way. And yeah, sure, the pressure to get everything in the daylight is tougher. But I think there is a tough love message coming to us from the earth. So, for those leading in complex organizations, rest is not a luxury, it's leadership intelligence. Rest and resourcing yourself at all levels allows you to respond rather than to react, to create instead of control, and to lead with clarity rather than fatigue. As you enter the darker half of the year, consider the rest that your body, mind, and spirit most needs. The invitation of Samhain is simple yet profound. Slow down, listen, and find out what the stillness and the darkness is inviting you into. Thank you.